Hello, welcome back to this lecture on microcontroller and its application. Today we'll discuss about timers. Timers specifically of 8051 microcontroller. So, what is a timer? Timer is something that counts an event. Now, timer as such in 8051 microcontroller can be classified to be operating as a timer operation or as a counter operation. Now, what's the difference between both of them? The difference is very simple. It is said to be in timer operation where it is counting the internal clock pulse and is said to be in counter operation where it is counting an external clock pulse. Now you can configure these timers to either operate as timer operation or an counter operation. Now in your 8051 there are two timers basically, timer 0 and timer 1. So these both timers are 16-bit timers. They are both 16-bit timers. Now timer 0 and timer 1 individually are 16-bit timers, and each of these timers, for example timer 0, is divided into 8-bit registers, that is TH0 and TL0, and similarly timer 1 is divided into 8-bit registers TH1 and TL1. So you have two timers, timer 0 and timer 1, and timer 0 is divided TH0 and TL0, and timer 1 is divided TH1 and TL1, and they are like any other register into which you can write using any addressing mode possible. So that is what is the basic structure of the timer registers in 8051. Now let's see how can we configure these timers. So as we know, to configure any timer or any operation in 8051, we have some special function registers, and the special function registers to configure your timer in 8051 is called as tmod and tcon. So let's see what is tmod register first of all. Tmod or timer mode register. Tmod is nothing but timer mode register. It is an 8-bit register used to set the mode of the timer that you are going to use. Now there are four modes that are possible with the timer, that is mode 0, mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. So which mode you're going to operate the timer and whether you're going to operate the timer in timer operation or counter operation is decided by tmod register. So let's see in detail what is tmod register. So as you can see, tmod register has two nibbles. It is divided into two nibbles, that is upper 4 bits and lower 4 bits, and upper 4 bits is responsible for configuring timer 1 and lower 4 bits is responsible for configuring timer 0. So let's see timer 0. Now as you can see, both the bits in upper nibble and lower nibbles are same. For example, in timer 1 you have gate, timer, counter timer, CT is nothing but counter or timer operation, M1 and M0 is the mode bits. The same bits exist in lower bits also for timer 0. So whichever timer you would like to use, you can select and you can configure it to work either as a counter or timer, or and in which mode you want it to operate also can be configured. So gate is the first bit that we see in this register tmod. Now let me tell you, gate is a bit which if set, it takes the timer is triggered by a hardware signal. But gate, if the gate bit is set as 0, your timer is triggered by only a software signal. That's a basic understanding of what is a gate. What is a CT? Now counter or timer. C is nothing but for counter and T is nothing but for timer. Now C or T, that is, as I said, your timer can operate either as a counter or a timer operation. So whichever operation you like your timer to operate in can be selected by setting a bit to 1 so that it will operate as a counter operation, and setting a bit to 0 so that it can operate as a timer operation. So it depends on that. So whatever bits you write in this register, you set it either as a counter or you set it as a timer. Now M1 and M0 are two bits which decide the modes of your timer. M1 and M0 are two bits which decide the modes of your timer. So when these bits are 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 or 1, 1, you select mode 0, 1, 2 and 3. What is mode 0? Mode 0 is called as a 13-bit timer mode. That is, you can count a number maximum, that's 13-bit number, that is from 0 to 1 triple F, 0 to 1 FFF. Whereas mode 1 is a 16-bit timer. You can count any number between 00000 to FFFF. Mode 2 is 8-bit or auto reload mode. We'll discuss in detail what are these modes, but it can count any number from 00 to FF or 0 to 256. And mode 3 is a split timer mode. Now mode 0 and mode 3 are not of much practical application use for our scope of the subject. We'll be mostly dealing with mode 1 and mode 2. They are important to us. Mode 0 and mode 3 are not very important to us as far as our applications are concerned. Okay, so let's see further. Now timer requires a clock to operate. That is called as timer clock. Okay, and the timer clock that operates at a frequency that is divided by 12 of the oscillator frequency. Now your microcontroller has an oscillator frequency, and this oscillator frequency when divided by 12 gives you the timer clock frequency for your timer. So whenever your microcontroller is operating at timer operation, timer clock is set as 1/12 of your oscillator frequency. Okay, so let's move ahead. So a simple problem we solved also this in the class. Okay, yeah, you have, if you want to set the timers in different modes, for example, if timer mode register is set as 01, which mode is selected? So let's see. If it is 01, that means this is 0, this is 0, this is 0. Sorry for the rough writing. This is 0, this is 0, this is again 0, this is again 0, and then this is 1. So this is what is 0, 1. So if you have 0, 1 written to tmod, that means you have timer 0 selected in mode 1 operation. That's why timer 0 is selected in mode 1 operation. Similarly, if tmod is set as 0, 2, 0, then you have timer 1 set in mode 2 operation. Similarly, if tmod is set as 12, that is 0001 and 0010, timer 1 is selected and set in mode 1 operation, and timer 0 is selected and set in mode 2 operation. So these are certain insights that we can have about tmod register, timer mode register. So that is what is timer. Let's do a simple problem. Find the timer clock frequency and its period with the crystal frequency 11.0592 megahertz when counter timer bit of tmod is 0. Now let's analyze this problem. When the timer clock frequency and its period with the crystal frequency, find the timer clock frequency. Now as I said, timer clock frequency is nothing but your clock frequency divided by 12. So what is the clock frequency given here? So your clock frequency given here is 11.0592 megahertz. So let's see. Your counter timer bit is given as 0, so it is working as a timer operation. So a timer operation always will have a timer clock frequency which is divided by 12 of the clock frequency. So your clock frequency is given as 11.0592 into 10 power 6. If you divide by 12, you get 921,600 hertz, that is 921.6 kilohertz. And each period, now what is a period? Period is equal to 1 divided by timer clock frequency, or each period of a timer clock will be equal to 1 divided by the timer clock frequency, which is equal to 1.085 into 10 power minus 6 second, or 1.085 microsecond. This is again a simple problem for you to understand what is timer clock frequency and period. Well, period is nothing but time. Time is inverse of frequency. Timer clock frequency is 1 divided by 12, or clock frequency divided by 12. Okay. Moving ahead, TCON, timer control register. So what is a timer control register? So as the name says, it is a register which controls your timer. Which timer should run, which timer should stop, and when should it run and when should it stop. All these things can be configured by using timer control register. So as you can see in timer control register, you have bits TF1, TR1, TF0 and TR0. The other 4 bits are interrupt bits which are not of much use to us now. we may see it later, or we may deal with it when we see interrupts. So what is TF1, TR1? TF1 is timer overflow flag 1 and TR1 is timer run bit 1. Similarly, TF0 and TR0 are timer overflow flag 0 and timer run bit 0. Now TF1, TR1 are timer overflow flag for timer 1 and timer run bit for timer 1. So whenever you have to set your timer to run, or whenever you have to run your timer, or whenever you have to start your timer to count, to make it count or to make it start running, then always you have to set this bit as 1, or you have to set this bit, that is time for timer 0, TR0, and for timer 1, TR1. Now whenever your timer starts counting, there's always a limit. As we said, the timer will overflow. When it reaches its maximum value it can count, it will roll back to 0, 0, 0, 0. Now whenever it happens, it will always indicate with the flag, that is timer overflow flag. Now TF1 is a timer overflow flag associated with timer 1, and TF0 is a timer overflow flag associated with timer 0. So timer is run using a timer run bit. Timer has a timer overflowed, or has it rolled back to its initial value, is set, or is actually checked using timer overflow flag TF1 and TF0. Let's move ahead. We discussed about gate significance already. Yes. Now, as we said, we will be focusing mostly upon two modes of operation, that is mode 1 and mode 2 specifically. We will not be much dwelling on mode 0. Mode 0 is very much similar like mode 1, except that it is a 13-bit timer. And mode 3 is a very complex split timer. We will not discuss in the scope of this lecture. So what is mode 1? So as you can see the structure of a mode 1 timer operation, you can see that the oscillator frequency is divided by 12, provided your counter timer bit is set to 0, and then if a timer run bit is set, then your timer starts counting. And from what value to what value can it count? It can count any value from 0, 0, 0, 0 to FF. The maximum value it can count is up to F, 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 and F. Maximum it can count is from 0, 0, 0, 0 to F, 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 F. So it can count from, it is a 16-bit timer, so it can count any values decimally 0 to 65,535. So the time it takes to count each value, that is from 000 to 001, that time is determined by the timer clock frequency. Okay, so that is what basically is timer mode 1. Now whenever this value reaches the maximum value, it is going to overflow, or it is going to roll back to 0000. When this happens, your timer overflow flag TF is set. Now that is what is basically mode 1 operation. In mode 1 operation, 16-bit timer, it can count any value from 0000 to FFFF. Now whenever it reaches the maximum value, it overflows back to 000, and it rolls back to 000, and when it rolls back to the 0, your timer overflow flag is set. So that is what is timer mode 1 operation. Okay, so let's see some more things in detail. Now timer in mode 1 operation has to be loaded with an initial value. So you need not always run from 0. You can run with an initial value. For example, if I say I run with an initial value FA and maybe B0, FA and B3, let's see B3. So I start counting from FA, B3, and I can count all the way till FF. I can count all the way to FF, and when this is done, I have to load TH with this value FA, and I have to load TL with this value B3. So these are my initial values. Once I load TH and TL with this initial values FA and B3, then I start counting from these values. I don't start counting from 0000. which is the default value. So when I start counting from FA and B3, I can go up to FF, and once it reaches the maximum value, it rolls back to 0000, where timer overflow flag is set. And once the timer overflow flag is set, it is dependent upon the programmer to clear the timer run bit, to stop the timer, to clear the timer overflow flag, to reset the timer overflow flag, and then go load the initial value again. So it is all dependent upon the programmer. The programmer sets the initial value, the programmer checks if the timer flag is set, the programmer then uh, resets the timer run bit and also resets the timer overflow flag bit, and then reloads the value so that the timer can be run from another iteration. So that is what is timer mode 1 operation. So this is the programming step as we just discussed. So timer mode 2 operation. So timer mode 2 operation is little different than your timer. It is quite different than your timer mode 1 operation. In here we see as it is a timer, it is divided by 12 to give your timer clock frequency, and timer run bits sets your timer to run. Now here your TH register is what you load a value into. Now remember, timer mode 2 is an 8-bit timer. That means it can count to a maximum value of 255. That is from 0 to 255 or 0 to 002 FF hexadecimal. So TH is the register into which you load a value. You load an 8-bit value. Now for example, if you load TH with the value 50, let's assume this is decimal value 50, then automatically when your timer run bit is set in mode 2, then your TH will copy this value into TL. Your TH will copy this value into TL register. Once it copies this value into TL register starts counting from 50 up to maximum value of FF. Once it counts to maximum value of FF, it rolls back to 0, 0. Once it rolls back to 0, 0, it sets the flag TF. Now once it sets the flag TF, it again reloads the value that was in TH back into TL. So again it starts counting from 50 to FF. The difference between this mode 2 and mode 1 is, in mode 1 you had to reload the value. In mode 2, the system does that for you. In mode 2, you need not go and reload the value again and again. The system reloads the value for you. So that is one different type of operation. So that is for a timer mode 2 operation. So again, the programming steps are very simple. All that you have to do is you have to load the tmall register for getting the right timer configuration. Then you have to load the th value with the initial value. Then you have to start the timer, of course, with tr bit. Then check for the timer overflow flag if it is set. Once you check for the overflow flag if it is set, when it is set, you have to clear the timer overflow flag and timer run bit and go back to step 4 to check again. Okay. That is timer mode 2 programming. So timer mode 1 is 16-bit timer, timer mode 2 is an 8-bit auto reload mode. So let's see what is a problem. Now we saw a similar problem with software instructions. Okay, now this problem is write a program to generate a square wave with 1 kilohertz frequency on port 1.1 using timer 0 in mode 1. Now that's interesting. It's timer 0 in mode 1. Assume the clock frequency to be 12 megahertz. So here we have a program which says write a program to generate a square wave with 1 kilohertz frequency on port 1.1. So you have to generate a square wave on port 1.1 using timer 0 in mode 1. Using timer 0 in mode 1. And you have to assume that the clock frequency is 12 megahertz. Assume that clock frequency is 12 megahertz. So you need to generate a square wave. Now as you can see on the screen now, that a square wave looks something like this. It has a high pulse, high level, then it has a low level, high level, low level, and it keeps on going. Provided it has a 50% duty cycle, it keeps on going, and you can make it keep on going infinite number of times, or it can be an infinite loop in which this square wave is generated. So what we need to understand here is one cycle of a square wave. How does it look? It has a high pulse and it has a low pulse. It has a high value, then it has a low value. and this thing gets repeated again, high, low, like that. Now when it says a square wave of 1 kilohertz, when it is said a square wave of 1 kilohertz, what do you mean? 1 kilohertz is nothing but 1000 cycles per second, or 1000 hertz. That means within 1 second, this one cycle is repeated 1000 times. Within 1 second, this one cycle is repeated 1000 times. So within 1 second, if this one cycle is repeated 1000 times, how much time does this one cycle requires? Right? How much time does this one cycle require? So how much time does this one cycle require, one total cycle require to be generated? Now that is what we need to find out, and we can easily find it out by using this formula. Time period of one single cycle is nothing but 1 divided by your frequency. As you know, frequency is always inverse of time, so our time is always equal to inverse of frequency. 1 divided by the frequency, that's 1000 hertz, which gives you an answer of 1 millisecond. So the time required will be 1 millisecond to generate one cycle of a square wave, which makes us understand that high pulse of the square wave will not last longer than 0.5 millisecond, and low value will not last longer than 0.5 millisecond. So 0.5 millisecond high, 0.5 millisecond low, then again 0.5 millisecond high and low. If you do this, you create a square wave with a frequency of 1 kilohertz. Now that is what you need to generate using a timer. Okay. So you need to create a high value and hold that high value for 0.5 millisecond or 500 microsecond, and you need to create a low value and you need to hold that low value for 500 microsecond or 0.5 millisecond. So how to do that? Now as we know, timer always works with a timer clock frequency. So we need to first find out what is the timer clock frequency. Now we know the clock frequency of your microcontroller is divided by 12 to get the timer clock frequency. So what's the clock frequency given? The clock frequency is given to be 12 megahertz, right? And once the clock frequency given to be 12 megahertz, you can easily find out the timer clock frequency, which is nothing but clock frequency divided by 12. That is equal to 1 megahertz. So you know your timer clock frequency is 1 megahertz. Now we know the structure of your timer in mode 1 operation. As we have been asked to do this, create this delay in mode 1, let's see the structure of this timer in mode 1 operation is something like this. So your timer mode is first divided into 12, that is your clock frequency divided by 12, giving you timer clock frequency, and we just now found it out to be 1 megahertz. So we have a timer clock frequency of 1 megahertz. Now how to operate this timer? So we know in 16-bit mode timer, we have to initially we have to load this value of TH and TL. Of course, we need to set the TMOD register so that it will be set in timer 0 in mode 1, and then we need to set initial value in TH and TL, and then check the timer overflow flag. So now TH and TL should count for how many times? How many times should TH and TL count for? Now this is a trivial question. Now how much time is the TH and TL should count for? Now we know that the delay that is required is for 500 microsecond, I'm sorry, or 0.5 millisecond. So for 500 microsecond, this low pulse and this high pulse should exist. So every 500 microsecond, it should flip from high to low and low to high. So I should flip port 1.1 from high to low and low to high every 500 microsecond. Now as I know, to count a value in TH, TL, load a value and count it, TH, TL, from 000 to 001, how much time do I require? Between these two values, how much time do I require if my timer clock frequency is 1 megahertz? Since we have calculated timer clock frequency is 1 megahertz. So if I have a timer clock frequency of 1 megahertz, how much time do I require to count from 000 to 0001? So how much time do I require between these two lines from 000 to 001? or 000 to 0010. How much time do you require in counting? It's very simple. The time required will be nothing but equal to 1 divided by your timer clock frequency. 1 divided by your timer clock frequency. How much is that? So 1 divided by, that is nothing but your 1 divided by 1 megahertz. 1 divided by 1 megahertz, which is nothing but equal to, which is nothing but equal to 1 micro, sorry, 1 microsecond. So what we understand is each count in timer 0 mode 1, you require 1 microsecond of time. So if you require 1 microsecond of time for each count, how many counts do you require to generate 500 microsecond? The answer is very simple. It is 500 counts will be required. 500 counts will be required to generate 500 microsecond delay. Okay, so what should be your initial value in THDL so that you will count 500 times? Now, is it possible to count 500 times? Yes. In timer 0, in mode 1 operation, you can count up to 65,535 times. But you don't need such a big value, we just need to count 500 times. So how would I count? So what is the answer is simple, just load it with a value that will count 500 times. So FFFFH minus 500 counts, or 65,535 minus 500 gives me 65,535. 65,535 is a decimal value which is equivalent to hexadecimal value FE0B. So FE0B is actually the initial value that I should set in TH and TL. So I will put the value FE and I put the value 0B in TL, and then my count starts from FE 0B up to FFFF. The number of counts from FE 0B to FF is 500. Number of counts between FE 0B to FF is nothing but 500. So FE0B to 500. So 500 counts would be required to go from FE0B to FFFF. So this would give you a 500 microsecond delay. Okay, so load your TH0 with FE and TL0 with 0B, and then you have the initial value to count up to 500 counts. Okay, so let's see how to write the program. So the program is very simple. As we said, step 1 will be to configure your timer. So write a word or write a programming line to set your timer in mode timer 0 in mode 1. So tmod is equal to comma hash 01 will be the value to set your timer in timer 0 in mode 1. So we know that we need to complement this port 1.1 every 500 microseconds. So write a value for that, complement port 1.1 for every 500 microsecond. So CPL port 1.1 will do that. Then move a value, then we have to move an initial value, that is FE and 0B to TH0 and TL0. So how do you do that? Simple, use move statements to move a value FE and 0B to TH and TL, which will easily load the value, load the initial value that we require, that is FE and 0B into TH and TL. Then once we have initialized we have put the initial value into the timer registers, then we have to run the timer. That is, we need to run the timer run bit. So we need to set the timer run bit to make the timer 0 run. So TR0 is the bit which is set to make your timer 0 to start running. So once you set the TR0 bit, you make your timer 0 to run. So once you set your TR0 bit, you make your timer to run. Once you make your timer run 0 to run, you have to keep checking now for the timer overflow flag. Once you make a timer to run, you need to keep on checking a timer overflow flag. So how do I do that? I write a statement jump no bit, that is jump when the bit is not set, that is the TF0 is not set. Until this TF0 is set, not set, I just repeat the statement. What do I understand by this is I keep on checking for the flag of timer 0 in mode 1 if it is set or not set. So I keep on checking that flag. So once this is set, it will quit this line and it will come to the next line where I have to stop my timer by using the statement clear timer TR0 and then have to reset TF0 bit by clearing TF0 or resetting TF0 bit. Once that is done, now the square wave has to be repeated by the low pulse. So I will again go to complement statement where I'll complement or I'll invert the value, that is the maximum value to the minimum value, and then again I'll do this program once again. This will be an infinite program generating a continuous square wave. So this was a simple problem illustrating how a timer 0 is run in mode 1 operation to generate a delay which is able to give us a square wave of 1 kilohertz frequency. Okay, so let's see how we can do in mode 2. Now the same thing to generate a square wave of 1 kilohertz frequency on port 1.1, how we can do in mode 2 of timer 0 operation. Now mode 2 is a 8-bit auto reload mode. Now in 8-bit auto reload mode, as you know, there's a value that needs to be stored in TH, which will be copied into TL when the timer run bit is set. Now whenever your timer runs from the value that is there in TH, that is TL, initial value, and when it overflows from FF to 00, the TF flag is set. Whenever TF flag is set, TH value is again reloaded to TL, and this continues. Okay, so what is the maximum value that can be in TL? The maximum value that can be in TL is 255. But the value that you need to count is 500 because you need a 500 microsecond delay. Now, if you need a 500 microsecond delay, you need to have 500 counts. Now, the clock frequency and everything is same, so your 1 microsecond is the time required to count between two values. That is, if you want to count from 00 to 01, will require at least a 1 microsecond delay. Now you require to count 500 times, but the maximum value you can count is 255 times. So what I need to do is, what I would do is I load the value of TL to 05 so that it can count from 05 to 255, which is the maximum decimal value it can count, or I would load it from 05 to FF, which is the maximum value it can count. So I would be counting 250 times, and I would be doing this loop 2 times to get 500 microsecond delay. That is how I operate timer 0 in mode 2. Now, how to do the program? The program is very simple. As usual, make sure you have the timer mode register set so that you have the timer 0 set in mode 2 configuration. So how to do that? The word bits to be set in timer tmod register. So before that, we need to count 2 times because since we said we need to set a counter for 2 times because we need to run this timer 2 times to get the required delay. So we just initialize the register with the number 2. Then we'll complement, of course, port 1.1 so that we'll keep on inverting the values high and low to get the square wave. Then we'll store the initial value, that is 05, into TH. We set this initial value 05 into TH. Then we'll start our timer by using the statement set B TR0. Once we start this timer, then we have to keep on checking for our overflow flag, that is TF0. Once we keep on checking for our overflow flag, when the overflow flag of timer 0 is set, we need to clear the timer run bit, we need to clear the TF0 bit, and then check if there is uh, R5 bit, R5 register, which we have initially set as 2, is set or reset. If it is 0, if it is not 0, then go again. Let us decrement jump no 0. You decrement the value of R5 by 1, and then again go to the loop that is set bit TR0. Again run the timer once again. So once again you run the timer 0, and then again you will check for the timer overflow flag and clear, and this time the decrement jump from 0 value states that R5 contains 0. So when it is 0, you come to the next statement where you have sjump, and you go to complement the value and get the low pulse in square wave. So this is how you can generate a square wave in mode 2 operation. So it is the same as it was in mode 1 operation. The only difference is the count value. How do you change the count value, or how do you generate a 500 count value using an 8-bit register? Okay, so this is an example of given a program. How would you generate how would you find out what is the frequency of a square wave? It is simple. Just go in the opposite direction by finding out how much delay it is creating, and then finding out how much time does it require. And once you find the time, you can easily calculate the frequency as the inverse of time. So what is a counter? So that is what's about timer. What is a counter programming? So what is a counter program? So let's see what is a counter programming. Counter is just timer operation but counting external clock pulse. So whenever a counter timer bit is set as 1, you put your timer to count your external clock pulse. You make a timer to count your external clock pulse. So that is basically what is a counter. So as you can see, there is no initial block of oscillator divided by 12, because your external clock pulse are fed to pin 3.4 and pin 3.5 of port 3, where you have T0 and T1 pin. So whatever clock frequency comes on that is the event that your counter counts. Whether it is mode 1, it is a 16-bit counter. In mode 2, it is an 8-bit auto reload counter. Rest everything remains same. One more thing to be taken notice: when you are using an external event counter, you make sure you always set your gate bit to be 1. Okay. So your as you can see in this block diagram, you have an X oscillator divided by 12. This is a timer function operation, and when your counter timer bit is 0, your timer operation works. When your counter timer bit is 1, your counter operation works. And how does this counter operation works? Your external gate pin, if it is set to 1, this is an OR bit, and your timer run bit is set, then you have a counter operation which operates independent of your internal clock frequency. It counts your external clock frequency. This is a basic function of a timer and a counter operation. So it is overall, just to revise, your timer, you have two timers, timer 0 and timer 1, both are 16-bit wide, and they are divided to TH and TN, that is timer high and timer low, and you can configure them in 4 modes: mode 0, mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. Mode 1 and mode 2 is most widely used. Mode 1 is 16-bit timer, and mode 2 is 8-bit auto relay mode. How to configure them? Using TMOD and TCON register. TMOD register is a register which is used to configure those timers, and TCON register, you have bits like TR and TF which can be used for running your timer, and then TF is a bit used for checking if the timer has completed one iteration. So this is how basically your timer runs, it functions. And there's a way to program it, and programming is very simple. If you understand the structure of your timer modes, you can easily program timer in any given operation, in any required operation. So that's what is about timers. Meet you in the next lecture discussing serial communication.